guys already know the deal with virtual learning. If you are a mom, a busy family, you know how hectic virtual learning could be. So.
I wanna let you know, even when it gets hard and we wanna let go, I still love you like crazy. I wanna let you know, even when it gets hard and we wanna let go, even when it gets hard and we wanna let go, I still love you like crazy. Love you like crazy. Love you like crazy.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Ramona back on the scenes. I know it's been a long time since I've uploaded anything on YouTube. So as I mentioned in the last video, Kaiden was starting virtual school. So I kind of wanted to explain or talk about how that's been going. If you have a child in virtual school, I know you can relate. You probably feel my pain. I'm grateful for the fact that there is a system in place to have some sort of schooling option for those that cannot homeschool, for those that, that's just not a possibility for them. But I feel like it could be a lot easier. Because I know for me, I feel personally like I have also been enrolled in kindergarten myself. Obviously, he's not at the age where we can just, expect him to log on, sit down, and pay attention for the entire school day. So obviously, we have to be there to ensure that he's paying attention. We have to make sure that we're signing him in to the appropriate class that he's supposed to be going to. We have to make sure that, lunch is prepared and, he has his independent work completed. We have to make sure that he's paying attention because, as I mentioned before, Kaiden is a child that is very easily distracted. And on top of that, we have to make sure that we are keeping Zuri away from Kaiden. Because of course, she's small, she doesn't understand what's going on. All she knows is that she sees her brother and she wants to play with him. If you guys saw my back to school haul video, you noticed that we did buy a lot of things to kind of keep Zuri occupied and also things for Kaiden back when we were considering homeschooling. I tried to use some of those things that I got in that haul, but at the end of the day, you can only distract a child but for so long, especially when they're so young. Like Zuri is just 2 years old and she wants to play with her brother. So it has been very challenging to make sure that she is being separated from Kaiden, to make sure that she's also not just vegging out on the phone or the TV or on the computer for an extended amount of time, all while trying to balance watching over Kaiden, making sure he's doing what he needs to be doing during virtual school. Because to be honest with you, I didn't think that he was learning anything at all. Anytime I would check in on him, it seems like he's just like looking out the window or looking at his tent or playing with something on his desk, like writing when he's not supposed to. It just seemed as if he was not paying attention, and I honestly didn't know if he was learning anything. About a week ago, we had an IEP meeting with his teachers, his therapist, because he was receiving occupational therapy as well as speech therapy. So we all came together to have an IEP meeting, and I addressed my concerns, like, I don't know if Kaiden is actually learning anything, because anytime we check on him, it just seems as if he's not paying attention. Whenever we ask what he learned about in school, even though we can hear what the teacher is saying because we have the baby monitor in the bathroom that connects both Kaiden and Zuri room. We have one there, and then we also have the other monitor in our room. For example, they spent about a week talking about the 5 senses. So I asked Kaiden, do you remember the 5 senses? Can you tell me about them? Give me 1 sense. He's like, I don't know. I don't remember. And I'm like, boy, I clearly remember your teacher telling you for a week and a half. I say all that to say virtual learning has been quite the struggle. And on top of dealing with virtual learning, I also have my grandmother that lives with us here, and she requires, she needs a lot of attention, more attention that we're able to give right now because we're pretty much chained to Kaiden's room between the hours of 7:45 and 2:15. If I'm dealing with Kaiden, then Andre has to make sure that he's watching Zuri. Like, it's been very challenging for him to find a work from home job because he's scared about leaving me with all the responsibility. We can't function like this. It's very, very challenging and hard to have a child in virtual school when they're so young, and you still have to do everything for them. You still have to make sure that they sign in on time. You have to make sure that you sign them into the right classroom. You also have to listen out for the teacher to hear what the instructions are, because Kaiden could come and tell us that the teacher said it's time for lunch, or it's time to go to this class, or it's time to do this particular project, when the teacher may not have said that. So it's been really challenging. And with that said, we are looking into homeschooling. I promised myself that we will give the virtual learning about a month, and it's approaching that 1 month mark now, and I don't feel like it is a good fit for our family. I don't think that it is something that we can sustain in the long haul. Before we withdraw him, I wanted to make sure that he got his IEP evaluation. First and foremost, to know what services he will need or he still needs. And I'm so proud to announce that my boy no longer needs occupational therapy. Yay! So he's been doing really well in terms of occupational therapy. Like, we've really been doing all that we can to help him. So now all we have to do is make sure that he gets the speech therapies that he needs. I made sure to contact the speech therapy that we were using before we enrolled him into school. So we're going to be starting that soon. He also has a neurology appointment coming up in October. So I'm really excited about that, because I'm not sure if I mentioned here on YouTube, but he was supposed to have a neurology appointment back in March, just when COVID started happening. So of course that had to get pushed back. So I'm very excited for his neurology appointment, just to know like what his challenge is, if there is any challenge. When we were living in New York, he did see a neurologist there. Whatever is going on, he can say for sure that it's not autism. If it's not autism, we don't know what it is. So we want to just have a second opinion and take him to a neurology. So I'm really excited about his appointment coming up. So that's pretty much what has been going on with Kaiden. And like I said, I am looking into homeschooling, but I want to make sure that we get everything in place before we withdraw him out of school. So we're working on that right now.